Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We have today a very special guest, Natalia. Please introduce yourself and tell you what did you study, what did you do, and why do I have you today as a guest.
Good morning for everyone. So my name is Natalia Taravanesova. I'm clinical hypnotherapist and coach, and I'm also a neurologist in Russia, doctor neurologist in Russia. So today we have a topic, ADHD. And I think it will be really very interesting because today I will be and as a client and as a specialist who help people with ADHD.
Yeah, it's ADD and ADHD because ADD it's just attention deficit disorder and ADHD is attention deficit hyper disorder. So in my life I've met all different kind of kids with these so-called disorders. I don't call them disorders because I'm a physiologist. One of my education, I have a master's degree in biology. I'm a physiologist of human being and animals. And I studied neuroscience in depth. So I don't believe I know the reasons, and we're gonna discuss with you today. Okay, so...
Yes. So, right, the ADD, it's like an older term, but right now it's ADHD including AD.
Yeah.
And you are right that this is more cognition.
Cognition.
I'm sorry for my English.
It's okay.
It's not like a disorder, but like a cognitive cognition.
Condition. Cognitive condition. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. So I wrote here something, so not to lose important things. I have this ADHD too, and actually that influence and my life. But when you know what to do, that really can be very helpful. So what's common symptoms people have with the ADHD? It's like, when people do home work at school and the mind wanders away from the task. So the person cannot concentrate because...
It's a lack of concentration.
Yeah. So concentration and organization, this is the main problem with the people like who has the ADHD. And so also this is a difficulty reading if the task is difficult or not interesting. So I will right now to tell how to work on that, right?
No.
Or you want to do that later?
We will do that a little bit later. So let's do step by step.
Okay.
When did you discover that you have ADD? Because I don't see ADHD, because usually ADHD people, they cannot sit even 1 second in their chair. They have to move and do something. So you can sit very well, you can concentrate more or less. But when the first time did you hear that you have this problem? It was you who identified, or it was some doctors, or it was your parents? How did you find out that you have that problem?
So I was already pretty old, and I was already doctor neurologist in Russia. So, and the problem with adult ADHD is that we all know this diagnosis with children's, but that was not common for adults. So actually I didn't know, I think, till I was 35.
Oh.
Yes. So I had the symptoms. But I thought that this is my something problems, you know, that I need to discover and I need to resolve them.
Yeah, you have to discipline yourself.
Yeah. And usually, adults understand that they have ADHD when their children go to a doctor or somewhere.
Yeah.
The children has the diagnosis and the adults parents say, oh, I have all the symptoms the whole my life, but I didn't know that I have this too. So that was with me.
In my time, and probably your time as well, because we're like one generation apart. So in my time, nobody was using those words, deficit disorder.
Yes.
Nobody. It did not exist.
Even with the children, right?
No, not even with the children. Did not exist, no.
Yeah.
We didn't have. First time I heard about this problem only here when I moved to live in America, which was 29 years ago. So then I start to hear, oh, that's a problem, ADD, ADHD, and I couldn't even believe it's really exist.
But you know, Alla, I think that nowadays it's more like developed because this is lack of concentrate, focus, and the nowadays what we have, internet, laptops, and a lot of apps that also pick up our attention and distract our attention. So I think that this influence, that's why maybe there is a problem nowadays more revealed like it was last years.
No, I think that in all time I worked in a preschool. And my students were from 2.5 to 3. And because I was so dedicated always, if I have to do something, I have to do it perfectly. If it's not perfect, I'm not gonna even start to do anything. If I don't have time to make it perfect, I'm not gonna start. So I trained my students who were from 2.5 to 3 to dress by themselves, to concentrate and do lots of different things. And then in the winter time, when the teachers start to get sick and I was released from my morning duties, the director asked me to work with in a second half. And they sent me to students who were 4.5 to 5. So much older, 2 years older than mine. And when I enter, before that, I was thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna come. Those kids are so fantastic. They're 4.5, 5, so smart, so talented. And then I'm entering into the classroom and I see those students and my jaw just dropped down because those kids were like really wild. They did not listen to anyone. They did not concentrate. They were just running around and doing all crazy things. My kids at 2.5 to 3 did not do that. They knew the orders. They knew that they have to be in line waiting for me until I buckle up or do something for them. So it's completely organized environment. And those kids were able to do, very young, so many great things. And then those 4.5 to 5 knows nothing. They did not even know how to put their shoes together in the right order, so start to put the shoes on. They did not know at age 4.5, 5 how it's possible. For me, it was just like
blooming
out of order. And later here, when I started to run my own business, preschool and school, I saw it and I understood that if you don't have structured classroom system, that this is time to study, this is time to play, this is time to eat, this is time to sleep, this is time to get dressed, this is time to go outside and play on the playground. If the kids does not have that structure from very early beginning, their brain develops in a chaos.
Alla, you are a really great teacher.
Oh, thank you.
And if we will have teachers like you, maybe this ADHD will, reduce very much.
Dramatically.
And
yeah, I believe that some percent of the kids definitely have genetical problems and definitely have some chemicals disbalance, but it's a very small percent. The amount of the kids today with ADD and ADHD is so high that I don't believe that it's really genetically, it's just education.
You are totally right, because for ADHD, the most important is a discipline. Discipline, organization, self-discipline, because some of the symptoms, when a person, adult or a child, they cannot wait their turn to say something.
Yeah.
Because they think that they will lose their topic. They can't
They will forget what they
will forget, yeah. Or so sometimes in the group, when it's groups they talking about, they are missing. They're missing something, not because they are not attentively and not interesting topic, but because someone say and triggered, and like images goes, and their mind went, and once they understood, they just missed a lot of part of the conversation. So this is all about the organization, self-discipline, discipline, and one of the biggest thing of ADHD, when it's look like your mind is a television and all channels are set in the same time. And for them it's okay. So I had this symptom too. So it's look like all channels works together, but it's okay. The problem starts when you try to focus only for one channel. So you feel like you lose something very important and interesting topics that goes around another this topic, main.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I totally understand. I loved your metaphor about television set that
it feels like
many channels simultaneously working. So on one hand, we remember with you in a history, one of my favorite person.
Okay.
I saw lots of documentaries. I read a lot about him. It's Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar was capable to do several tasks simultaneously, and he wasn't completely distracted. He was able to concentrate on each of them and do them in a parallel way. It's a very unique qualities and very interesting person for me to study and everything, but I believe he had some ADHD or ADD in the childhood, I would say. So, but if those people are very talented, if they will be able to train themselves to concentrate, of course, for kids we have to help, give them an idea how to do that, because we cannot do the job instead of kids. We can teach them how to do the job. So then it's much easier. Practically everything what I'm doing in my school, how I'm teaching kids, it's to teach them to concentrate and to learn to do everything on your own. You can do it. It's okay to fail, because in majority of the cases, kids are afraid to go on to do because they're afraid to fail, and then they're gonna be punished, so they're scared. I never punish my kids for telling the truth or working and doing in the wrong direction. That's why in my school, for example, I don't have bad grades. I don't put C. But I required them to practice again and again and again until they get to A or B. B is the worst grade that I can put in my transcript.
The most adult people with ADHD, they suffers from the label that came from the school or from the childhood.
Of course.
Because people don't understand how they thinking, and they are labeled like a lazy, like everything forgetting something, and this is great. Then you are never like punish them and just train them to go to better and better.
Exactly.
And the mind is like that. When you train mind, it's really developed. So with ADHD, it's looking like that. When you have a deficit one side, that means that you have something extra in
on
another
the other
one.
side. Yeah.
So people with ADHD, they are very creative. They are really talented and they are really creative.
I agree with you.
So they can create. I can give one example very quick. So I had a client, 15 years old guy. So he came with me with one issue, but in the first session I already figured out that he has ADHD. So when we started to speak and already came to resolve the issue, what I told him. So I asked him, what do you think? So you have this problem, right? So we already opened this issue. What do you think? What would help you with that? So he thought about 1 or 2 minutes and give me 5 resolutions.
Wow.
And there was unique, there was good. And I said, see, you can be creative and you can really resolve your issues. You just need to sit, calm down, feel yourself, believe yourself, and create.
Exactly. It's desire to change yourself. That's one of the biggest problems today in society. It comes sometimes from the songs, which I love very much, but one of the songs is telling that love me or I love you the way you are, just the way you are. It seems to be, what's her name, was singing, cut out this piece, from the song Just the Way You Are. It's in very many movies everywhere. It's a good song, And we do love people the way you are. But my life experience showing that you have to change yourself every day, every minute to work and change. Only when you're not afraid to look at your problems, when you face your problems and you're trying to find a solution, what can I do? Of course, you can ask people, you can ask me, you can ask the other people that you trust. Be careful. Sometimes you have to be able to identify that sometimes people who's trying to put different medications into your body, it's not the best solution. Every single problem that I met in my students, we always solved with parents without any medication. I'm against medication, even being a physiologist, because it does not help brain. Brain has a unique quality. It's called neuroplasticity. What does it mean? It means that your brain can change itself at any age. And I've seen that so many times. I had a student who came to me at age 4.5, and he definitely have ADHD. He wasn't able to sit at the chair even for 5 seconds. So he was under the chair, behind the chair, on the top with his feet, but no sitting, period. And then in 5 years after that, we were playing a game. My final tests are always in the form of game. It's called IQ range. Now it has the name IQ range. It's evolved a little bit. But I like everything to teach in the form of game. Game is fantastic things to learn. It's a competitions, it's desire to be the best, and that's a real motivation for kids to achieve. And they receive money. So they want to play the game. After the games, they right away asking when is going to be next one. So, and in 5 years, that boy who was completely ADHD won on the final game in 1 hour $250. And the highest price for the question, for the hardest question, was just $5. Can you imagine on how many questions that boy have to answer in order to receive $250? It's really special. And when you see those results, you understand that everything can be done. But unfortunately today, people created a very unique psychological approach. It's okay. Next time, maybe you will be able to do that.
This is more easy.
This
is more easy way.
Yeah.
But the brain don't need to have easy ways.
Never.
Because the brain will go for easy ways by himself. So we need to train brain and to give more difficulty things so it will work.
Thank you so much. That's the most important things.
This is his function. So as a neurologist, I can add one thing. So of course, as a doctor neurologist, I should love meditation, you know.
Yeah.
But sometimes I was argue with my colleagues about that because I believe more the natural neuroplastic function of mind. Because to have medicine, this is really more easy. But you know, this is not very helpful. So better if you work with your mind train. So sometimes I have a clients like hypnotherapist or a coaching even when they're 75 years old. And you know what I want to say? That sometimes they are more easy. They are more easygoing. They have results sometimes even better, and yes, really better than for 40 years old or 45 years old. So why? Because neuroplasticity is really plasticity. Yes, sorry. So is really main thing for the brain.
But you have to have a desire to do that.
A desire we need to have for everything.
Yes, exactly.
If there is no desire, even no medicine, no nothing will help.